Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Doctor Who and Autism series today. I'm joined with some people who've already been on this series already and probably been on this podcast multiple times. So thanks, guys, for coming on again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from who's on my screen, like next and onwards, just so you know I'm not picking people willy-nilly. So Ryan, I'm going to start with you, and Ryan with an
There's two of us.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with the one who's speaking now.
Okay, what am I doing?
Introduce yourself, my dude.
Yeah, introduce yourself.
Sorry, I'm out of medication. All right, hey, I don't know. I'm Ryan, and I've been on here twice before, and I don't know. I work retail, and I hate people. So there you go.
Take that back.
Never.
Take it back.
I have a feeling this is going to be like herding cats.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, welcome back. Let's say Ryan number one, and yeah, I only say Ryan number. I only say Ryan number one because you were the first one there. No offense taken.
I will take two.
Ryan
I will take two.
But there we go. So Katie's hopped onto my screen next. So you're next.
Hello, I'm Katie Haynes. I've been on the podcast. I think this is my third or 1.5, because the last time I was on, I wasn't really on. I kept going in and out because my internet connection was rubbish.
Yeah, it's good that is resolved, Katie.
Yes, thank goodness.
Yeah, so it was good because we named that episode the unstable internet connection, I think.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's good that you're back, and more so like there's no glitchiness this time.
Yes, thank heavens. Thank heavens.
Yeah, so thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right, Ryan number 2, welcome back.
It's my go. All right. I am also Ryan, and I work retail. I'm on the same boat as my twin here. We do the same job as retail, but I don't like people. But apart from that, I am the 9th and 11th Doctor on TikTok. So there.
Yeah, it's almost like you're identical twins, the two Ryans
May as
here.
well be.
Because you both work in retail, you both like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
We both hate people.
And you both hate people. So there you go.
And I've been on this podcast for about 3 times now.
Yeah, yeah. So welcome back, Ryan.
Thank you.
So yeah, David, welcome back, my friend.
Hello, I'm David, and I also work retail.
How many people are working in retail?
I hate it. But
that's 3 for retail, 3 for hating people.
I didn't say that.
No, you didn't say that. You didn't say that.
Yeah, but you're thinking it.
No.
I think there's correlation there.
I'm autistic, and I cosplay the 11th Doctor on TikTok.
Yeah, and I'm sure the 11th Doctor doesn't hate people.
No,
The 10th does.
Mine does.
I like people. I like people a lot. Not all of them, but I like a lot of people.
In small
I
doses.
I do like people, but I can never finish a whole one.
No!
Well, it's great to have you back, David. I think this is your 3rd time as well. So everyone's here for the 3rd time, more or less. So it's great to have you back, David.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Alan, it's nice to have you back.
Yeah, it was ages when I was last on, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was yesterday. So this is actually only my 2nd time. A relative newbie, I would say. If people who might know me for doing Doctor Who cosplay on TikTok and talking about loads of other subjects as well. I still haven't found a niche yet, but hey.
Yeah. So yeah, it was actually yesterday we last spoke, but your episode when this episode goes out, which will probably be out to people listening, your episode will be only a few days earlier actually, so not that far in it between the 2 episodes. So yes, good to have you again, Adam.
Thanks.
Yeah. So Mikey.
Hello, which Mikeys are here? There's 3 of us here, you know. Anyways. Okay. Hello, everyone. It is I, the one and only Mikey here. Yes, I'm the one who does the chaos. Aren't you saying chaos in good way or bad way? Good, okay. Jeez. Anyways, it's good to see all of you yet again, who are my friends in this universe. I am the one and only Mikey, who creates Mikey's Amount of Color, Dr. Mikey, and the creations of the burnouts. There'll be a video about me, or at least a podcast, that'll be in August. You'll get to know about my motives and my little silly quirks. And hold on. Hello, everyone. This is the doctor. Of course, this is the doctor version of me. But yeah, it's good to see you again. Anyways,
I can see you wearing a bow tie.
Yes, bow ties are cool. And yes,
That's
Katie.
not cool.
Indeed.
Those are
Also,
cool.
your future is in good hands, Katie. Don't
I'm
worry.
so glad to wear it.
Yeah. It'll be all fine and dandy. Also, for the other 2, Ryan, take for what you said back.
Never.
Take it back.
No.
Take it back.
Wow.
Take
Mikey.
it back.
Mikey, it's good to have you back, my friend.
Indeed, it is.
Okay. And Chris, you're the last one to introduce yourself, so it's good to have you back too.
Last but not very least, I am Chris. On TikTok, I am Spider Chris Who. I don't work in retail, so I'm not a retail worker.
But you still hate people.
I don't like people. No, I don't like people.
Meeting?
What?
Is this the first time we're actually talking to one
It is
another?
the first time, Katie.
Oh
The very first time.
It is so good. It is so good to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Katie.
I always love your stuff. And especially, can I just say your morphing collection?
Oh yes,
Gold. Oh my God, pure gold.
my daughter is in absolute love with you and your cosplay, and talks about you all the time.
She's mini 13, right?
She's the mini 13.
Oh.
Aww.
Oh my God, I love her. Tell her that the doctor sends her love.
I will. Every time I'm on TikTok, she goes, "Let's go watch Katie's videos." And we're straight on. She absolutely adores you.
TikTok actually, they put me on the naughty step. I think there was either an algorithm update, but my videos aren't going out. So I just did a video of me sitting on the bottom step of my apartment complex.
TikTok with their algorithms are friggin' questionable. So
They
screw
are,
them.
I don't know.
Yes, they
which
are
one.
very.
Yeah.
What I would
it's
say
weird.
is that I apologize if nobody can make out what I'm saying, because as you can tell, I'm not from America and I'm not from the mainland. I'm from the other wee tiny island beside it. So if I talk too fast, I apologize.
It's fine. You're cool. There's no problems.
You're cool,
in
bro.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same sort of problem being from the northeast of England, so nobody can understand a word I'm saying half the time either.
Everywhere has a north.
Lance has a north.
Yes.
Oh, Alan, I always ask, my accent, good or bad?
I don't
I'm
know.
being brutally honest.
It's hard to imagine you with an American accent, if that makes sense. When I hear you with your American accent, it sounds weird. It's as if the other one's your natural one. From when I
Oh
hear
my
you.
God, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Genuinely, like, I've been training myself to do this. And to hear that, I'm like, okay, that's great. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Kate, but before I knew you was from America, I thought you was from the UK. Yeah. Because like, I don't know, you just didn't sound American at first, and then you are American now.
Hearing it from those who live there, it really means the world to me.
It is funny as well hearing you slip into that accent as well, especially when we talk about Doctor Who. I can hear little bits of the English accent dropping in there. It's quite funny.
All the time. All the time. It's because I'll listen to Jordan on repeat before I go out and do a video, just so that I can really get a cadences down. And I've also listened to their videos on how to do a Yorkshire accent. And I've had people tell me that I've had friends who have said, just say you're from the north, it'll be fine, no one will say anything. But there are other times where I will kind of slip into that, like if I'm talking about Jody, I'll say Jody rather than Jody. Or when I did a video recently, I wanted to make it clear that I was saying July rather than July. Yeah, no, that's what she says. That whole thing, like
that was so southern.
Yeah,
It was so southern.
July.
Coming down here in July here in Alabama.
I declare.
I do declare.
I do declare my fair share.
Oh, David,
Yes.
Oogie Boogie's party is completely sold out.
I know. So I'm still gonna go dressed because they can't stop me.
You're just gonna sonic your way.
I was gonna say, if they question it, I'm just gonna say I have come from a business meeting. This is all I had on. Why do you have a purple trench coat? Well, because it's nice. I like it. This isn't a costume. What are you talking about? Why do you have this metal thing? And oh yeah, that. Well, it's a lightsaber. Yes, that's right. It's a lightsaber.
There you go. You go. Oh, that. Look over there. And run.
See? It's a lightsaber.
Oh.
This is
David
not
and
the
I will
doctor
go on
you're
about
looking
Disney
for.
for hours.
Speaking of Disney, guys,
Uh-oh.
what are your thoughts on the latest things about
Yes.
Doctor Who and going on?
Let it be true. Let it be true.
Okay. All right. People
Let it be
are getting
true.
so angry on the side that people think that Disney's can control Doctor Who. No, it just means that BBC can stream it on Disney Plus. They don't have control of Doctor Who before people freak out, which I would love because it would save me having to watch it on iPlayer. So,
Give it time. They didn't always own all of Marvel either.
well, this is true.
David's 100% correct. There are different licensing agreements.
Sony
different
technically
businesses.
owns Doctor Who at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's an agreement, Katie, if you remember back
Spider-Man,
in-
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Soon.
Disney's just like soon.
I know, they're monopolizing, and that's the only problem I have with Disney is it monopolizes.
Oh no, it 100% does. The thing is, when I was in Epcot years and years ago before the pandemic, you could buy 11th Doctor merch in
I
UK
remember
Pavilion
you
in Epcot.
saying that.
And I've never forgotten that. There are different licensing agreements in different areas. For example, theme park licensing, streaming licensing, merch licensing, and that can all go to different companies. So David is right in that just because Disney Plus could stream Doctor Who, it doesn't mean that it owns the theme park rights. Now, I'm going to get on a mini soapbox and say that if the Disney Imagineers could create a Doctor Who pavilion or a Gallifrey pavilion, I'm going to say I would trust them. However, if they did it, it would have to be like Galaxy's Edge. Stepping off my soapbox.
Oh,
But
wait.
if Disney take over potentially of a Doctor Who series, we would probably get it a lot quicker than we get it now.
Yeah, the budget would be there
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
More frequent.
Well, the thing is as well, Disney realizes that Doctor Who does have an already pre-established and established fandom. Like it's like Star Wars. It has a fandom, and it would look like a lucrative deal for them. I wouldn't be surprised in the future they do buy it. But I mean, I can understand the fears on it. I mean, look what happened to Star Wars, but like, it could go either way. It depends who's in charge, who's creative director. I mean, we've seen it with the BBC. I mean, we've had it since like the 70s. It's gone up and down in terms of quality. I mean, Disney giving them a budget might be a good thing, but there are things where you go back to like watching the 9th Doctor series where you could tell the budget was not there,
Yeah.
but still had the heart and soul of Doctor Who. right then and there. So I mean, it's a balancing act. It just comes down to who's running it, who has that passion to run Doctor Who, and that's what it comes down to. You want passionate producers. That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
And anything that improves the accessibility so we can watch old episodes and
Exactly.
so on. That's got to be a
Exactly.
plus. It's got to be a plus
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
If I remember this correctly, because this is how I got into Doctor Who. Back in 2015, this was when I was learning about the show through Disney XD. At the time, I was like, wait, they airing Doctor Who on Disney XD? I thought they were airing it on BBC America. Then I checked on their things and many people were confused and concerned. Then I'm like, sure, let's just jump in. Then I started to watch a couple episodes from there and that. And I think if I remember correctly, in one of the Doctor Who YouTube, like the official YouTube channel, there was a little reply or something in one of their like the description boxes saying they were airing like the second series of David Tennant's run on Disney XD. I didn't know if they had like the full rights to all of like David or Matt's or Peter's era at the time. To remind you, this was all years back then, if I remember correctly.
Yes. Yes, you are 100% right. They began airing it. They aired Disney XD picked up the rights to Doctor Who's second, third, and fourth series. It showed on Disney XD on June 13th, 2015.
Yes, and that's how I got into the show. Yeah, that was like years ago.
Yeah, because you had all those other shows on there, and it was good when that was on there. I think the more things that Doctor Who's on is going to get a bigger audience, and people will start streaming it. And like, there is obviously going to be negatives and pluses, but on Disney Plus, for example, you're probably going to get it more frequently. And like
I love that
episodes
show, Ryan.
and episodes going on there, like
Yeah.
and even people from different countries can have the chance if they struggle.
Yeah, because I remember when they were airing Doctor Who on Disney XD, they were airing it with Future Worm and Wander Over Yonder. I think this is when Wander Over Yonder was still a thing and maybe was still in the breach of not canceled. But yeah, there was other programs at the time that were airing around there, and I remember being there and literally watching majority of the shows and stuff because I really enjoyed those things. They were wholly dear to my heart. But yeah, I remember that every like Saturday or something, they will be like showing an episode of David's era or something. And this is how I got into understanding of what the Doctor is. Until I heard about Peter Capaldi's era, I was like, okay, more history that I need to know. So I decided to do the history itself. Then it relocated me to BBC America when I was like, okay, so I'm beginning to put pieces together. So Disney XD brought in our rights from a show that is from the UK, that is BBC, and they have a BBC channel called BBC America, and yeah, I had to put pieces together. So when I started to look over the thing, it was showing about like Peter's second season of Series 9. To remind you, again, this is 2015. This is when Peter was doing his second run as the Doctor, and I was getting into the show with multiple people telling me of multiple resources of who is who and how things are there and all. That's if I would say. Lord, my words are everywhere. Please forgive me.
No, you're right, because I think what a lot of people may not realize, or if you're just kind of stepping into it, particularly if you're only stepping into New Who, having different accessibility platforms allows you to go back and like, there are some people, I've heard stories where some people will start out with their favorite Doctor being 10 and 11 and 13, or whoever your favorite new Doctor is. But then when you jump back into the old, people will say, oh, I'm adoring 5, I'm adoring 2. So the whole series itself becomes this jumping off point for New Who, Classic Who, comic books, Big Finish, particularly if you go from you really love New Who to going into classic and then jumping into Big Finish.
Yeah, I'm starting to go backwards through the Doctors. Obviously, I've caught up. I started with 9th.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I've gone back
Same.
to 8th and watched the movie, and then I've grabbed a couple of episodes of 7th Doctor, because obviously I've met Sylvester and Colin at Comic Cons.
They do it every
And
con.
they're-
I love
they're
those.
brilliant.
I bumped into Sylvester at Gallifrey 1. And it took me a split second because I was moving around to get an autograph from the gentleman who plays the Centauran, who wanted to ride a horse. Skax. And I say, oh, I'm so sorry. And I hear, never apologize, Doctor, in a Scottish accent. And I turn around.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's awesome.
I
That's
think
amazing.
the one
Yeah.
thing I will say that needs to happen and the good thing that Russell's taking over, the promotional stuff needs to happen.
Yes.
It is the biggest crime that Jodie's finale is not at Comic-Con San Diego doing a presentation on it.
Yes.
And
That's the biggest
the one
crime.
thing, the fact that Who is not at San Diego Comic-Con, I mean, I'm stuck here in England, but I used to love going to the whole H panels for 11 and that, and it was like the fact that it doesn't have that big promotional anymore. It's kind of like what's
Bullshit
happening here? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to bring any more people in if you don't promote the show, Chibnall.
Exactly.
Jodie got snubbed in a lot of ways. Now I am going to say there are some aspects of the writing that I do really love. However, in terms of promotion, in terms of merchandise,
Merchandise took a major hit.
There was very little done. There was almost nothing done, to the point where I will go to the Who shop and I will dig through their stuff. I'm like, give me some Jodie stuff. Give me some Jodie stuff.
If someone come up to me and said, name 13 merchandise, I'd be like, that one action figure with her with a fanny pack.
Yeah.
The reconnaissance Dalek and her TARDIS. That's it.
But this is where the failure is on BBC's part. This is where the passion from BBC has been lost.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They don't have any passion for Doctor Who. It's a cash cab for them. So maybe multi-billion-pound company like Disney can reinvent that and push that.
Could you imagine the merchandise from?
Sweet.
It'd be everywhere.
Think about how Disney.
Expensive, but worth it.
Oh, okay, so think about how every time Disney does an event, whether it's, their 50th, Disney World's 50th that's going on right now, or Disneyland bringing back the Main Street Electrical Parade, or Fantasmic coming back, everything gets serious merch. You will not every few months you get a new lights. When Leia's lightsaber got released, the second it was announced, it was gone. They do not, Disney, for as much as the corporate side of Disney infuriates me, they know how to market their stuff.
Can I just quickly say I love Ryan's wall?
Actually,
Yes.
I do have something to show you guys.
Oh wait, what do we got?
What is it?
So this is for my first Comic-Con. This is for my first Comic-Con.
No, don't show me.
Yeah, it's Matt Smith. Me and my sister met Matt Smith years ago.
Nice.
And
I'm still praying for the day.
Yeah, he was very nice. And I met John Berman that year. Funny enough, somehow John Berman remembers me still from all those years. And he said, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good." And it was fun. But here's the other thing. This is from 2018.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yes.
Nice.
That's amazing.
There we go.
That is great.
Yeah. And here, she was holding my stuff that I made for her.
Oh,
Brian, that's a great picture of you and John.
Yeah. And here's the most epic thing. well, the next thing is the most epic thing. But here's me and my sister meeting.
Oh,
Peter
yes.
Capaldi.
Oh, that was when he was doing the Suicide
Suicide
Squad.
Squad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Me and him chatted for a bit. He was calling me doctor, and I called him doctor. It was a little conversation. And the main attraction, the main attraction is y'all are gonna love this, but me and Eccleston recreated it.
Chris,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I still have the artwork. At least I have a copy. He has a copy, but here.
Oh, that's really good, Mikey.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, hey, Eggleston, do you think you could recreate a photo that I made? And he said, sure. And I was like, go with the thing that I've done. And it was like this.
That is great.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I was thinking of doing another like recreation photo for Tenet. I was thinking of doing another recreation photo of me with Tenet being like wacky or whatever and doing a little silly pose or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. That will be fun.
Yeah.
My fondest Who celebrity meeting was John Barrowman at San Diego Comic-Con. It was back when Series 3 had just finished, and I went cosplaying as the Master, and I had the screwdriver in that. And I ran into, like, I was coming up, this was before John was, like, really big, so he had a booth right next to Gareth David Lloyd, and John jumped out of his booth when he saw me, and he's just like, do you want to do the thing? I'm like, you mean the bit where he's like, yes. So I'm like, I shot him, he ran at me, and I shot him with the screwdriver, and I'm like, laser screwdriver, who'd have Sonic? And the best thing is he's not dead for long. I get to kill him again. And he just started like laughing like crying. And Gareth David Lloyd was just like laughing his way off the side. And it was by far my fondest memory of like John. And he gave me a big hug. And it was I saw him the previous year after. And it like the year after, sorry, and he just like in the slideshow, and he was like, the Master. I'm like, John.
Oh my god,
You're so
John.
not. He's such a lovely man.
Yeah, actually, here's the thing. In one of my videos of last year's Comic-Con, my sister was saying, no, we met John Barrowman back in 2018 or 2019. I'm like, no, we met him back in 2017. Then John Barrowman defended my side and actually helped me out and make my sister correct herself that we met in 2017. And it was funny enough, John and I agreed to this and he helped me out. And it was fun because I told her, we met John back in 2017. And he said, yes, we did. And it was surprising that he remembered my art style and stuff. I was like a little questioned at first, but at the same time, so I'm like, I feel like John is maybe watching my stuff for a bit. I was like a little bit speculating. I'm like, I think Mr. Behrman has been kind of lurking in my universe, but I'm like, I don't want to think that far. I mean, if it is true, then I'll be oh Lord.
That's along the lines, like if I do the thing where I tag a lot of like I have tagged Michelle Gomez and stuff. If they know that my stuff exists and they have like gone out of their way to watch it, I'm like,
oh bro, that's crazy. Katie, the thing is, I feel like whenever someone who I like, funny enough, somewhat I don't know if you know Sabrina Carpenter, right? That person who I met years ago, 2019. She was a singer and stuff. She was on Girl Meets World. Mm-hmm. Somehow she remembered me when she was doing a live stream on Instagram. She called out my name because I was trying to mention one of her friends, and it was so funny that she saw my name and automatically remembered who I was.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, Sabrina still remembers me. And maybe, because here's the thing, I felt like the thing is, I know I haven't talked about Sabrina in a very long time, and I know I've been like doing other things and doing my own universe, but it's so funny that Sabrina has still acknowledged of what I've done for a bit and know that I was me under my new rebrand. It was so funny yet so silly, but also amazing, and made me feel happy as well.
I
Of
mean,
course.
that it means the world when
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, we had an interesting thing. The group chat that I'm part of, and Chris is in the same group chat, is called Colin's Bitches, and
Colin,
Colin Baker actually recorded a little like
Oh,
hello
yeah.
message for our group.
he
and
did.
it's-
That's right.
I'm in that group chat too, but I don't put anything in it.
Wait, can I be in that group chat? I wonder what's going on
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, I'm in it.
yeah,
He did a video, didn't he? At an
yeah,
event.
it's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You see,
He says, "Welcome to the epicenter of bitchiness" or something like
oh
that.
God.
Yeah.
Oh God.
That's
Great.
really good.
But when I spoke to him at London Comic Con the other weekend, I hope he's okay. I got COVID that weekend, so I hope I haven't passed it on to him.
Were you making out with Colin Baker?
No.
No,
But we
don't go that deep.
Alan is one of Colin's bitches.
yeah, exactly. Well, I mentioned the group, and he remembered us and said, say hi to everyone for me, which was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
But even
you know,
like a group like that the me and Alan's in, like, there's people from everywhere on that,
Mhm.
and they've all got the same passion for Doctor Who. So, I think that's what the BBC especially needs to realise, is that it's not a fandom that goes away easily.
No.
no,
And I've met some amazing people through it. I mean, I literally, before I joined TikTok and got into like cosplay and all that sort of thing, I pretty much could count on one hand the amount of people I knew that I'd call friends. Whereas now I've got friends all over the world. I've got contacts we can talk to about the things I'm passionate about. So it's been great.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's good when you have these kind of communities like within Doctor Who, because there's so many different things you raise awareness of, isn't it, within the Doctor Who, and it's not just a show anymore. It's just a thing that it's more than a hobby, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a way of life, isn't it?
Mhm. It is.
Oh,
It's
it
the-
absolutely is.
Yeah.
But look at the people that we've met. Like, look where we're all sitting now. We're all sitting on this.
Yeah.
Funny, but we're all sitting with each other, and everybody's from around the world, and we've all got that same passion. We've all got that same love for what we do. I started TikTok as a hobby just because it was something to do and it was something to cosplay in. And look where we speak to everybody here. Like, there's Katie and both Ryan 1, 2, and whatever else. So we've all got there. Like Katie and Ryan 2 would have been the first ones that I sort of would have watched on TikTok, and then like with David as well. I've chatted loads of times with David, and even to see his progression from his first video of being the Doctor till now, it's tenfold. It's huge. So.
And just bringing it back to obviously what Mason's the purpose of these podcasts is that a lot of us are somewhere on that neurodivergent spectrum. A lot of us are ADHD, autistic, and those sort of things. And I think there's a unity between us and a sort of a community that grows because of that as well. And that's one of the things I love about the show, plus the community that we have, because we're all understanding of each other. We know we're a bit, I don't know, a little bit silly at times, but
Yeah.
that's what it's about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Doctor at the core of Doctor Who, and I think it's something that's always been there, has been kindness, has been adventure, has been acceptance. And Peter Capaldi in particular, I love the moments with Jodie where she says things like, I'm a romantic, or when I was listening to Doctor Who Redacted, when she's talking to Cleo about her past and says, what you went through would have traumatized anyone, let alone a little girl. And for those who haven't listened to Doctor Who Redacted, Cleo was physically born a man, but is a woman. So the fact that the Doctor recognized that, and that Peter said, we're way beyond your petty obsession with gender, and that the Doctor, the only people the Doctor has ever been, I don't want to say been cruel, but has, played the I am more powerful than you are bigoted people, racist people, hateful people. Now, there are times when the doctor has stepped out of line. We can talk about the Harriet Jones stuff, which was not okay. But at its core, I think because you have the toxic fans who will say anything, but at its core, whether or not, if someone says, I'm not really, the 13 isn't my favorite, but I love Doctor Who. Or I say, well, this doctor isn't my favorite, but I love Doctor Who. We bond over that.
Yeah.
It's not about, fighting. Doctor Who is never about fighting over who is the better doctor. Doctor Who is about, we all want to be on board that TARDIS. And the doctor helps people, heals people in ways that maybe they could never be healed before.
And there's never a word spoke there at all. That was
It's all about love and acceptance and the ability to find that connection, no matter what your background, your race is, your species even. There's always been that connection of, we can get down to common ground, we can find an answer, because that's the doctor's first port of call in any situation, is to sit down and talk and find common ground. In the Zygon inversion speech.
Yeah, that is apart from the that speech, and David will never forgive me if I can't, brings back a tan.
Yes.
Those are the doctor's moments.
Oh yeah. I remember, like, the thing is, when I was entering the Doctor Who fandom, I was trying to put myself into knowing what was going on. Then I realized, oh, I'm going to a place where I may not know. So I had to get guidance from my sister to know that everything will be fine and everything will be okay. A bunch of people told me that if I can enjoy this thing, I can really enjoy it and be what I want to be. Even my family said that you can do whatever what you want to do. You can be what you want to be. And the thing was, whenever I was nicknaming myself the 14th Doctor, there's a whole timeline of lore and actual silly stuff behind it. But the real meaning to why I kind of dubbed myself that is because I was 14 when I was getting into the show. Well, technically from 13 turning to 14 at the time. And here's the thing, my birthday was going around. I was a little bit on the debating on who I would be, the doctor or the companion. And I was thinking, what if I was the doctor and I was turning 14? That led my name to be the 14th Doctor, because I was 14 years old and I was a Doctor Who fan starting to know about the show for at the time. And it was the whole line of it. It was becoming more than just a little Easter egg or so. It became a little lore story. I started forming my doctor thing for a bit. I didn't know how to write at the time. I didn't know what to do. This is when I was so goofy and stupid and I didn't know what was like, the common knowledge of RP or storytelling as well. Again, I was very impressed with other people for what they had told with the story of their doctors, like with the DW 2012's Little Red Doctor and the Purple Doctor, and Katie's Doctor. All these other doctors, even like Dr. Velocity and Dr. Stu. I don't know if anybody know Dr. Stu. It's basically with all the other doctors, they have formed the personality trait of the doctor of their own. And I wanted to kind of form my own trait of the doctor, where I'm like myself, but I feel more alien-ish, but at the same time, not trying to like go off rails or something. I started to grow the personality trait for a very long time. A lot of people were saying, oh, you're not going to be the doctor. You're not going to be the doctor. Why would you ever be the doctor? And it kind of sucked for me at the time, because I was like, wait, so you're saying that I can't be the doctor? That got me for a bit. And when I was being called the doctor at my high school, I felt like, wait, what did you call me? They called me the doctor, and I felt very appreciated it. A matter of fact, a couple of my friends and teachers said, there's Doctor Who or something, and it made me feel great. I remember so many people on Discord and high school or people in real life said you should be the next doctor or something. It made me feel so great and very appreciated. And it really I don't know, there's so much words, but all I can just say is it took a passion that I really enjoyed and actually gone with it. And there was a fear that whenever someone is going to be the 14th Doctor, I would like get called out or saying, "Oh, you're not the Doctor now because someone else is now the Doctor," and it was like a big terrifying fear, and that was like the thing because I remember that when someone who has like a doctor that is like an additional number or something, like the BBC will announce like a new doctor and people will don't start throwing shade or something at like the person or so, and it makes me feel bad that I thought I was going to be the next person. This was like a fear ever since 2018 as well, of course, and yeah.
Yeah. Like we talked about this, didn't we? Like because like you've been the 14th Doctor and stuff, Mikey, and like when it comes to the 14, and I suppose Jodie probably Katie shares that kind of fear, I suppose, because you it's not the thing you do. You do the 13th Doctor, and it goes on to number 14, and probably the same with David as well. And anyone who does any doctors below the number that it gets to, it's very fearful, isn't it? But it doesn't mean you don't have to stop. You can continue doing your thing.
No.
No, there'll always be
That's
passion
the
for the
thing.
previous Doctors, won't there?
I think, and the thing is, Mikey, you are still the 14th Doctor. The incredible thing about this show is that, you know, once David Tennant said time is a wibbly wobbly
Timey-wimey
stuff, and you have things like the comics and you have things like Big Finish, and we have Ruth coming into the picture and the War Doctor coming into the picture. Literally, this is a fandom, and this is a place where anything is possible. And to the people who say, you know, you can't be the Doctor, well, that's silly. I already am.
Yeah.
That's a silly thing.
Dr. Moder.
But that's the beauty of this of Doctor Who is it inspires so much creativity amongst the fandom. It inspires people to invent and create these alternate stories or fan created stories and characters and so on. I see so many of them, and that is the best thing about it, because it can be anything you want it to be.
The beauty,
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most fun things I've got to do is write a whole series for my Doctor, the Chronicle Doctor, because with TT Productions we now have a full line of Doctors, and it's been a fun project to help not only write these stories but also get better at script writing and just visualizing stories. Like, it's been fantastic to create something that I'm passionate about. And I think the beauty of all these Doctors, and I think the biggest kind of draw to the show, is you can take any of the Doctors and go, I like this Doctor, it speaks to me. I think for me, that is 11. For Katie, that is 13. For Ryan, that is 10. There is definitely that passion. Each Doctor's different. And that's the beauty of the show. Every Doctor's different, and everyone can go, I like that one. It doesn't have to be, I don't like that one. No, it's, I like that one. That Doctor speaks to me. And then we can see how the show changes over the years. And seeing all these different fans going, I love this Doctor, and seeing, oh, wow, this new group has found their Doctor. I mean, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and you're going to get kids who are growing up with, or their first Doctor is the 13th Doctor. My little one, he's 10 years old. His favorite Doctor is 13, and he's gone dressed in 13 cosplay. So you're going to have this kind of generation that grow up with each Doctor, and that'll be their sort of nostalgia. And they'll always sort of remember that as being their sort of first foray into Doctor Who.
Yeah. because I feel like the thing with Doctor Who, I felt like my family that brought me into the shows that I've grown up with. I'll give you a quick story. I'll give you a quick out of my side of my story. Before I was into Doctor Who, I was just a nerd and somewhat still myself. I was just into cartoons and all these other things which I'm still am. And there was so many pieces of myself that was trying to be there. But my sister was suggesting me things. And it was like this, that, this, that. I was listening to bands and I was listening to all this other stuff. But my sister was telling me about other shows and stuff. One of them was Doctor Who. I'm like, what's Doctor Who? And it was like a speculation to my brain. I started to search up for a bit, try to understand what the show was. At the time, I was so young. I was so like questioned by it. But at the same time, I was intrigued. Even though to the point where I was like, this looks interesting. And you know, the whole Disney XD thing, it brought me the whole timeline of it. My sister told me there was like a lot of things that the show did for Comic-Con and stuff, going to the theaters. And when I started to get into more of the show, I've felt like that I became more of myself, gotten more close with my family and more of my friends because of it. My dad, oh my God, I would tell you this. Back in, I think, 2018 or 2019, there was an event for Genesis of the Daleks being premiered at the movies or something. And it was where Tom Baker's doctor was fighting off the Daleks with Davros or something. And my dad saying, this is so loud. Why there's so much sound of the Daleks or something? And I'm like, it's the Daleks, Dad. It's the Daleks. And it was fun because a while back, before I was born, he used to watch Doctor Who, and this is when Tom Baker was on the run of things. It was so much fun that I was getting more connected with my dad and like letting my family know that I'm such a nerd and stuff. Mostly my sister as well. I've mentioned my sister a lot. Angelica was the one who brought me into the whole thing. If she didn't brought me into the show and stuff, it would have been totally different. A whole alternative universe. And it would have been so very weird. But I'm very thankful for bringing me to a community of people who I can try to relate and actually feel more power within, because I can not only just relate to my family and my friends in real life, I can relate to the doctor, because I felt like the doctor has like some parts of myself in there where I'm like scared or feel mixed or feel hussy bussy or whatever. It's just, I tend to really relate to the thing. And I kind of gotten to the point where I made my own doctor, which is for the 14th Doctor. I decided to use all of that quirks that I had and put it into the character that I had, which he doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to feel afraid that much. He's afraid of being forgotten, or at least, you know, try to be remembered in some silly ways, because all of my characters, or at least some things that was inspired from Doctor Who, are afraid that they're going to be either A, forgotten, or B, scrapped away and not be mentioned again, because people would say, oh, why did you make this? Why did you do that? Why did you do this? Because I like doing this stuff and I can be what I want to be. This is my universe. I created this because I love Doctor Who. I've grown up with my art. And if people enjoy what I've done, then that makes them very happy. They saw me growing up. I made some people growing up with me as well. Funny enough, I felt like when I was starting to make my stuff, I felt like some people were actually growing up with the stuff that I made, and it feels a little weird and nostalgic at the same time. And it's just like, so is this how I feel when someone actually feels connected to the things that I enjoyed or something? It was so weird.
Yeah. And within the Doctor Who, it's because most of the time you'll go to someone and you'll talk about it, and they will quite likely know they've heard of Doctor Who before, and that's kind you want with the little things that come inside Doctor Who, with like autism, like all these different communities within. You want more awareness to go within them. So you say to a person, do you know what autism is? Do you know what someone else is? And they know. And I think that's the whole part of Doctor Who, which I think that they're starting to bring more in now of that kind of stuff, and bring different communities into it, and like and bringing people back, which is cool. I think. And so speaking into an autistic term, when I was younger and I got introduced to Doctor Who, like which most people probably would. When you're saying doctor, you might think of a person that like you're going to get checked up or something, and then you say a Doctor Who, and then they may think of you going to the doctors, and then who.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned about obviously the link with autism. Then we discussed this yesterday as well. With the character, the Doctor, how we all relate to them because of that disconnection with humanity or disconnection with how we're supposed to be, and sometimes we feel like we're lost and we're traversing an alien world in which we kind of understand the rules, but we still stumble through them a little bit. And I think this is the connection you get between any sort of neurodivergency and Doctor Who, because that character is very cleverly put together as someone who is part of the human race, but not, because they've got that different experience, but they still care and they still want to be among humans, but still struggle with the interactions a little bit. And I think that's heartwarming for people like us who have struggled throughout our life with social norms, with what we're supposed to do in different situations. So that's definitely one of the appeals, especially from my perspective, because I've always felt that outsider, like someone who was kind of on the edge, but involved, but not involved, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, Anna.
Like with each Doctor, there's some, like I said earlier, there's something you can relate to. I used to know someone who was on the spectrum who was very much like 12 with the cue cards. Like Clara had to give him the cue cards because he would say the wrong thing, and his mum used to keep correcting him. So it's like, oh no, he means this. Like, it's so she's like, no, you're supposed to say this. It's like, oh right, really? Okay. And I know myself, I relate very much with 11 because I love random things that I think are cool, and everyone's like, what? That's not cool. I'm like, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
This is cool.
It
It is.
So
cool.
it's like it's one of the, so I think, and I think me and you, Mason, we talked about this. We think, I'm pretty sure that the Doctor is autistic in every incarnation that he has, because there's different quirks in that you can see on the spectrum that, like, yes, he is an alien, but I think it's a very good metaphor for autism.
Yeah.
In a lot of his changed bodies, his and hers changed bodies. So it's definitely interesting. I mean, you could deep dive into Doctor Who and go like and start analyzing all the different parts. But it's how I've always seen it. I thought, like, yes, he is an alien, but I think in our terms, it's a metaphor for. I think I agree with you, Alan, when you say it's just an outsider, feeling like that outsider in this society, which a lot of autistic kids do feel like.
He's a stranger in a strange land.
Exactly.
There we go.
I couldn't have said it perfectly. Right,
As someone who does not have autism, like when it comes to 13, what do you see in her that, like, I genuinely want to know that, like, sparks of, oh yeah, that's definitely, that's on the spectrum as well.
Yeah.
It's
Her fashion
spontaneous.
sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, the fashion
Fashion
sense.
sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, I know everyone. This is something that everyone complains about, but I am gonna say the fact that she uses the screwdriver a lot. She cannot not handle it, but I've seen people like that on the spectrum where they're like, I need to have. Look at the way she does it. It's her own specific way of doing that. Whereas every dog,
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's a comfort. I think the screwdriver is, at least for 13, is like a comfort device, and because.
But let's be honest, when we have them and we're doing videos, we all play with them in between the videos.
Yep.
I don't know.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about, madam.
You don't know what you're talking about. I'm a madman.
But I mean, that's something I see
Madman
in
with
13, but also the spontaneous, like, ooh, like that kind of like.
Oh yeah,
whoa,
like apple bobbing.
yeah.
I
Just
just
like,
love that
I love
everybody in
everybody.
this room had access to a sonic screwdriver so quickly.
when I'm dressed as 11, it's
I haven't
never
got mine.
not by my
Yeah,
side.
I've got.
Oh, no, this is what I will sit here forever and do this.
Actually, you know what? Screw this. I have a set.
Wait, is that that's the wrong one. Hold on.
I keep mine in the fez.
This
No.
is
You don't know what
this
you're
is my
talking
baby.
about.
This is my baby. It's
In
all
answer
about
to your
my
question,
mother.
in answer to your question, Katie, and it's something I mentioned to Mason yesterday about and again, it's a scene that people criticize, but when she's talking to Graham and he's talking about the cancer, and she fully admits that she does not know how to deal with that situation.
Exactly.
Just, I should say something, and I relate
Ooh,
so
that's a good
much at
one.
that point.
Yeah.
I sat there and I was like, "That's me. I know that as a human being, I should give them some sort of nice, helpful thing to say, but I do not know what to say." And so I think the honesty and the fact that she was able to just say that, I don't know how to deal with this situation. To me, I felt connected. I felt seen in a lot of respects. So yeah, that was a big thing for me. That was.
That scene gets a lot of criticism
Mm.
that on the one hand, and I do not agree with the criticism. Here's the thing. I think that because a lot of people say, oh, she played it as a joke. She did not play it as a joke.
No.
Go back and watch it. She genuinely does not know what to say. If you watch the way she moves, if she watches her body language, she doesn't know what to do. She is not trying to be cruel in any way. She's almost mad. She's upset at herself. And I think, and it is very true because, again, think of it as your own self, but also think of it as a Time Lord. You don't know you're not going to go ahead in time and see what happens. And you don't know whether or not the cancer is going to come back or not. And the doctor is not a therapist. So it makes sense that she would say, and let's be honest, if you know, Graham could not have said that to 12. What would 12 have said? That scene works so well with 13. And I don't know, like, and again, this is nothing against the other doctors, but that was a very self-aware moment. And I don't, you know, I would have liked it if maybe it had ended with, would a hug be okay? Like if something like that.
Yeah.
Like that, just that little extra thing. But that was a really, really phenomenal scene, in my opinion. I think that whole.
I agree 100%. But then on the flip side of things, you say the hug thing. Well, I probably wouldn't have done that if I was in that scenario because I don't do physical contact.
Yes,
so
yes,
I wouldn't
right.
know how to. I would probably make a slight joke and change the subject. That's exactly how I would deal with it. So, like I said, I felt seen at that moment, and it was like representation of how I am. And it doesn't make me a bad person.
No, not at all.
No,
it doesn't make her.
Not at all. And I'm so glad that you brought that up. I am genuinely so happy because people go after that scene. And you're like, the doctor
doesn't know.
Yeah, and
like,
also
she can't do anything to help
she can't
that.
do anything.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, with people with the show, I feel like that I need to be honest with this. I don't want to make this sound bad for myself. I don't want to get attacked by anyone who is going to bash my opinions. None of you guys, but anyone else who's going to be saying stuff. But I feel like people are shit talking about Jodie way, way, way too much.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Yeah, it's
100%
annoying.
agree.
It's annoying because like, yeah, I'm trying to enjoy Jodie's error and all, but all of you negative, toxic people are making me not want to. I don't know.
No, Mikey, I am with you 110%. If you want to say certain elements are good and certain elements are bad, that is 100% fine. But if you genuinely go out there and say everything about this is horrible, no, not everything about through your eyes and your there are elements of series 11, season 12, and season 13 are not perfect, but they are good. They are good. And I hate this continuous hate that is sent to Jodie that, as far as I can tell, was not sent to Peter, was not sent to Chris. David and Matt were adored.
But do you think that I know this is to be true, but it is very much because of the gender thing. And every time a woman is put in a powerful position in sci-fi, in fiction, in TV, they always end up getting a disproportionate amount of criticism. I've noticed this in so many different characters. When Rey was made as a character in Star Wars, when lots of different fandoms, a woman gets put in a powerful position and there's a threat, and it is just disproportionate amount of criticism.
Absolutely.
And yes, there may be aspects that are fine to criticize, but that isn't you could have picked that same personality trait out of Captain Marvel was a classic one. Everyone criticized Captain Marvel for being a bit arrogant, and you've had Tony Stark as a character for how many years, and you haven't put the same criticism with Robert Downey Jr.
Exactly. So, and it's a million times worse if it's a female actor of color.
Yeah.
What happened with
Moses Ingram?
Moses Ingram, yes.
Yeah. 100%.
Oh my God. God. But you're right. You are 1,000,000% right.
Like for example, James Bond has always been a man. When that eventually, it probably will happen, it will go into a girl. There's gonna be lots of things about that because it's always been a man, like Doctor Who.
Right. They're gonna go nuts. I want it to happen. I want it to happen, and they're gonna lose their minds.
Yeah. They're gonna lose their bonkers. To be fair, like I enjoy Jodie's error as far as possible because again, even though the writing is questionable at times, and I know there's moments in the episodes that are so silly, which I love the silliness, but at the same time, I feel like Jodie is another part of myself that shows like the real quirkiness that I enjoyed the most, and I could personally relate. And it's just like, oh, I can actually hang out with this one. You're very quirky, and I like that. And the thing is, it makes me sad that there's like people who just want to just throw like opinions and say, oh, not my doctor, this, that. It bothered me for a very long time because when I keep seeing all of that, it made me almost lose half of my interest to the show. And I'm like, no, let's not get that into that far. Let's not go into that direction, Mikey. Don't let these people get on your nerves. If they keep saying stuff like that, just block them and just ignore for what they have said. They're just trying to make you feel like you shouldn't watch the show at all. And it was to the point where I was like annoyed and like so frustrated because I know for at least over these past couple months, people have been asking about the Centenary special, and I know I saw even the Daleks and Legends of the Sea Devil. I know many people are saying some other stuff about those two episodes, and I know I was supposed to be doing a review of Legends of the Sea Devils, but that got kind of scrapped. Well, later on, I'm gonna probably review the episode again and rewatch the episode when the Centenary special gets onto the wing of things. But I remember so many people are saying stuff about like Yaz and the doctor, and it was just like, you have a problem with that? Like,
yeah.
But what I would say as well, to sort of turn it back around to a positive, the younger generation who are getting into Doctor Who, the kids who are watching it now, absolutely love the whole current situation. They love Geordie. So it is the older sort of, try not to be derogatory, but the older generation of Who fans who maybe are still stuck on the second and third Doctors, who are those critical ones. So I think the future is bright for Doctor Who, and I think the generation that are loving it now are positive towards it. So I think that's something we can take heart from, seeing how the kids are enjoying it.
Yeah. I don't blame you because I do see like when I'm in my Doctor Who account, yes, I have an account for my 14th Doctor character, and I follow majority half of the Doctor Who accounts, or at least some of my some of the other characters that they are connected to my multiverse. I follow some majority of the accounts on there, and I see a lot of appreciation for 13 or so, which that makes my heart friggin' happy so much. I feel like this is what I need in my daily life. 13 Doctor content, daily dose of positivity of 13. It's something.
Yeah, make sure you're following
Absolutely.
me as well on TikTok because I'm always praising the 13th.
Wait, Alan, let me double check. Am I following you?
You're not.
Oh,
Oh.
shoot! Oh!
Oh no.
Hang
not
on,
good-
hang
it's
on.
not
What's,
good enough.
what's your username?
Dr. Retro. That's been my goal since I started to get you to follow me.
There we go
There we
then.
go.
There we go.
There we
That's
go.
my- that's my-
I am,
that's my
I am
ultimate-
officially, I am officially following you.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate goal. It's been achieved now. So
That is, yeah.
I can die happy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please don't
That's
die.
amazing.
Well,
We-
no. I'll regenerate. It's fine.
Oh,
If people haven't following each other, we can always do it in the little group chat we got going.
yeah.
Also, another autism moment I think with 13 is one that she goes in a tangent. Like she doesn't really explain much, does she, to the companion what's going on?
No, no.
Yeah, she expects them to just know what's going on, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And do you remember when like Ryan and Graham were leaving and like she couldn't really say anything to that, like she couldn't accept it, and I think Yaz says to her that it's okay to be sad, and she was trying to hide those emotions, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
that
think-
struggle with the human, well, the emotions of that situation. She didn't know how to handle it, and it was trying to have the happy and the sad at the same time was confusing. So
I
yeah,
loved that moment.
Mm.
Two hearts, one happy, one sad.
yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like are we talking about like Revelations of the Daleks or something? Because I remember in the like at the end of that special or so where like all the companions or something with Jodie's doctor, they were basically like doing their own thing, and Ryan and Graham decided to leave the TARDIS, and it was like, oh Lord, 13 couldn't handle it. I felt like she didn't want to like let Ryan and Graham go, and I felt like she wanted to keep them for another long year or so, or at least trouble for them for a bit. I could relate to that because I felt like when the doctor doesn't want to let go someone, so something very important, it makes me feel like I could relate that to more of how the doctor would feel as well. It really hurts as well. Now to think about it.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna cry when Jodie goes.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Same.
Everyone's gonna have to check in on me when Jodie goes.
Oh yeah.
We all gonna have to check.
I'm
it.
aware of it, Katie. I will.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I'm
got
willing-
you're right.
That's not gonna be a
you
good
what.
day.
We're all gonna have to check
Like,
in.
you're-
Together.
It's something, unfortunately, Katie, you're gonna have with. I still watch Time of the Doctor and cry, and every time I do that scene on TikTok, it still makes me cry. You don't see the after effect when I've done that scene. I am literally in tears. And also when like the Ponds left, I still today can't watch that scene without full on flooding the room, because it is
Yeah.
it's, with every doctor it is a heartbreak,
Yeah.
and you have to live with that heartbreak, and it's the most evil thing about the show, but
Yeah.
it's
That's so
something that
evil.
is also
Well,
positive.
while we've got myself and Ryan on, we can talk about the 9th Doctor exit, and
Oh,
that was so painful
oh,
at the
can
time.
I
was.
didn't know
They
about.
were
Okay,
fantastic. And you
I
know
will
what?
have to go
So was I.
soon,
So are you.
unfortunately. I will have to go soon, unfortunately, but I will tell you I didn't know about regeneration. So when 9 came on, when 9 left, I literally went through what Rose did. I looked at David, I'm like,
Holy crap, he's turned into a miniature Scottish man.
who the hell are you?
Same.
No, I literally had that. I had the
That northerner's become non-northern.
who the hell are you? You are not the doctor. Who
Mm.
the hell are you? What the hell is going on? And it took me a good
Cycle of
like few
Doctor.
days to be like, what? No, come back.
It's like
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
the doctor. I
think
love
that's why I
you.
struggle with him.
No, why did you have to go?
That's why
It's
Yeah,
Keith
it's
is
the whole
not,
thing.
he's not my favorite, because he always feels like he stole the ninth from me, you know. So it was like
Yeah.
Yeah.
bit of resentment towards David Tennant on that one. Like, thanks for that, but I know it's not his fault.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, I
Yeah.
get what you're saying on that one. Yeah.
Oh, I remembered something. My first live regeneration. This was my first live regeneration because when 12 was leaving, this was my first regeneration that I saw live when it was on TV and in the theaters. And I wasn't ready for Peter to go because I felt like Peter was a wise one as well. And I felt like I could relate to him as well because when he said, "Doctor, I'll let you go," I felt like he was leaving a part of himself within the show that he wanted to keep remembered. That's the thing that I felt like with myself. There's parts of myself I like saying, "Mikey, you gotta let go of some of those things, you know?" And it's just like, do I really have to let go? And it's just like, you gotta let go. And it hurts.
The lovely thing with every Doctor exit, they always get a chance to basically, through the Doctor, the actor saying goodbye to the role. Like Mason knows, because I've done this like half a dozen times. It's like, and I will always remember when the Doctor was me, and that kills me every time because it's Matt. It's Matt saying goodbye to the role, and it's
He
the
looks
same
into
with
the eyes of
Peter.
the camera as well.
I know, he goes, "I will always remember when the Doctor was me."
Yeah, that was.
And he
not-
does it with a smile, and
That
it's
is-
like, oh,
That was not to Clara. That was
that wasn't.
not to.
That was to the
No.
audience.
That was. That was for me what the final moment in what is it? Adventure in Space and Time is.
Oh my god.
When the first Doctor looks up and he looks across and there's
Oh,
Matt standing there.
That's it just breaks my heart. every time.
I was a sobbing, weeping mess the first time I saw that.
Yeah.
And that is what Doctor Who, that's the embodiment in a way of Doctor Who. Always moving forward, always being hopeful, and always knowing that even when you step down, your predecessor is not going to, you were amazing and your predecessor is going to be amazing, and there's no one upping each other because you're all unique.
I think that's one of the reasons why, I mean, I know people get sick of me saying it, but it's why Eleven's goodbye speech works so well, because he says, we all change when you think about it. We're all different people all through our lives, and that's okay. That's good. You've got to keep going so long as we remember all the people that we used to be. I will not forget one line of this. Not one day.
One day.
I swear.
Where?
I will always remember
the Doctor was me.
That's your title. That's your title for this episode.
There we go.
And I'm looking forward to hearing 13's goodbye speech, because it's going to be heartbreaking. And but I'm really excited, even though she might have been let down by a few stories and that, she is going to, we saw how good she was in Redacted, Katie.
Yes.
Like we saw, so I cannot wait for Big Finish to get a hold of 13.
Oh God.
I want to see how
Because-
Jodie does. I want to get
Yes.
She's already said she wants to do Big Finish. So
they better give her like every.
I'm still waiting for you, Matt. But anyway,
Who does 11 now?
it's Joseph. Hold on. It's the guy who does 10 as well. He does 12 as well. He does all three of them.
Okay. Speaking of which,
I cannot remember his name.
is
Jesus Dunman or something. It's around
Jacob.
Okay. So
Jacob.
I am gonna have to take off in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But here's a fun oh no, I'm not gonna do that.
No, come on, do it.
What were you gonna say, Katie?
I was gonna say, so I if you want the ultimate Doctor Who crossover, watch Paddington 1 and 2 and see how many times you can point out. It's so funny because in the first Paddington movie, Peter Capaldi is in it and his hair is very flat. But then the second Paddington, he's got his full-on curly hair. So it's like, so you totally recognize that he was in the middle of his season and he was like, okay, I've got to come back for this. It's a long thing. I could go into it. And I want a Paddington Bear Doctor Who crossover.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yes.
Like the Robin Hood
Oh, hell
episode,
yeah.
but with Paddington.
Yes.
Yes. Needs to
Yeah.
happen.
I want either as an audio. Oh my God. There's like a kid's adventure audiobook for you. Get Ben Wishaw and either 11, 12, or 13 and do a crossover.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great, Katie. It'll be. I love the movies of
They're so good.
yeah, they're really good. Right, but before we all leave, because we've done quote before, I think if we just say what Doctor Who means to us, finally, and just go on in a row. So I'll start with you, Katie, then we can finish up.
Oh
Love.
yeah, Star Trek.
Love.
Nice.
This Assimilation 2, by the way, if you've never read this comic, it is so good. It's Captain Picard meets 11. It is amazing. Like, seriously. Katie, if you come around like to California, I'll bring all of them out.
Oh
and you
my
can read them.
God, yes.
They are so good. And if you've never read them, find them online because they are. It's basically the Cybermen meet the Borg. And it's the ultimate crossover. It is so good.
Oh my
That's
God.
awesome.
Speaking of Big Finish, when are Sasha's things coming out?
Ooh,
I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't
But
know.
for me, the doctor means love. The doctor means hope. And the doctor means, no, I think that's it. The doctor is hope.
Hmm.
The doctor is, I don't know why I'm crying, but that's the most comforting thing. The doctor is hope.
The Doctor is hope. Right.
Mhm.
The
Have to agree.
Doctor is hope.
Yeah.
Always.
Always 100%.
100% agreed and indeed.
Yeah. I think we all agree there. Like the Doctor is hope. I think that's a good way to finish because I think we all agree. We don't need to all go into depth like what Doctor Who means to us and stuff because we can just say the Doctor is hope.
It is, yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. It's been great to have you all back again talking Doctor Who, autism, and yeah, I'm glad you're back and you've enjoyed yourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank
We'll
you.
have to do this again.
Definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mason.
Yeah.
Geronimo, David.
Geronimo.
Geronimo!
Geronimo.
Fantastic.
Alonzi.